What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Southern Jeep and 4x4. Got an exciting video today. The 59 CJ-5 is going to be back on all four tires again today. I'll show you how to put in leaf spring bushings, attach the leaf springs to the axles, and then attach everything to the frame. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start with the leaf spring bushings. How I normally put them in for the leaf springs, I'll put a little bit of grease on the outside of the bushing and get a little bit of sandpaper, clean out the eye on the spring, and then I'll go ahead and let me pull the camera back a little bit. Once I get this thing on tires, I'm going to get it rolled out of the shop and do a good cleaning because it's getting a little out of control with the mess. Right. Let's go ahead and get it started in the vise, and then it'll center itself up, and just go ahead and draw the vise in. Now, if you, for some reason you don't have a vise, you could do the same process with the C-clamp. This way is just a lot easier. But you don't want to, drive them in because you'll mushroom the side. And then also you don't want to go too far with the vise because one side's going to stick out a little bit versus the other side. So, all right, that's it. And it's going to be the same exact process for the other side. So you got your two bushings here on your shackle. This one, either of these goes in the leaf spring, and then the other one is in the frame. So this one's just an extra that I have laying around. Alright, so before we put the leaf springs on the axles, I'm going to go ahead and put both tires on. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do from there. So I'm just going to put a few, not going to put all the lug nuts on because these tires are going to be on and off. So they're just some rollers to get by for now. Alright, do the same thing to the other side. Alright, so tried to get the best camera angle, but here's our shock mount plate that's going to tie underneath here, and then got the U-bolts ready. This is kind of a pain, but all right. Then you're gonna just make sure your Everything's lined up. Now you got a locating pin on the top of the spring that's going to go in the locating hole of the axle tube pad. Alright, it's not wanting to center for me, so I'm going to grab a hammer. Alright, so hopefully this camera angle is good. So you just got to kind of turn it to get it in there, and then they're going to want to twist on you. So we're just going to snug it up to get it lined up in the frame, and then once we have both ends of the spring in the frame, we'll draw these tight. Because it'll twist a little bit, so that'll be the best way to line everything up. Alright, so it's going to be the same process on the other side, and then I'll check in when I'm ready to put it in the frame. Alright, so we got both springs on, got it under the frame. It wasn't very graceful. The front's going to be a lot easier, and I'll show you why it's going to be easier when we get to it. But what I like to do is, hopefully it comes up on the camera, but go ahead and line up your front and get it a bolt through it. We just got it knocked for now, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Alright, we got it where it's not going anywhere. Alright, so I loaded the frame off the jack stands it was on, and still got the sawhorse on up front. We just got the floor jack to pick up the back of the frame. And now we left the axle U-bolts loose because we got a little bit of spring twist. And if you remember, I already mocked up the leaf spring shackles and everything, so they're nice and square. So I'll just go ahead and lower the jack a little bit more. Oh, a little bit too much. All right, and then go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. All right, we're going to go ahead and tighten up our shackles. You don't want to kill them. I'll go ahead and do them by hand, finishing them off by hand. Sorry about the fan too, it's super hot today. See, this one is a little crooked. The spring's twisted on this one, and the camera's twisting too. So I'll go ahead and draw them in slowly. All right, and the same thing for the front. All right, so for the front, I'm going to show you a much easier way that I think to put the axles in. I showed you the one way where on the rear where you put the springs on and then roll it under. Well, this way you're going to put on both the back of the springs, have them laying down like this, then roll your axle under there, and then we're just going to pick up on the spring, get it lined up with the foot there, and then bolt it all together. I think this way's a lot easier, especially if you're working by yourself. So everything's loose right now. Just getting everything, you know, kind of mocked up, and then if I got to move it around, I can. So this foot just needs to get lined up a little bit, so it feels like it's in there. So I'm just going to roll the floor jack under here. Kind of pick up a little bit, and then get our bolt in. All right. So right now the axle's resting on the spring. We're going to go ahead and put our U-bolts and shock plate in. So on the driver's side, the tube's going to be the same width, and the passenger side's going to be wider. I'll show you that here once we get this all situated. Spring plate. All right, I'm going to go ahead and struggle with this and check in. All right, so I went ahead and bolted it up. So everything's lined up. And one thing to remember is on these feet here, you're going to have two squares and then your center. Make sure, you know, you get it in that center hole and not the front, you know, the front or the back. So it'll cause you a lot of issues. And here on the passenger side, you can see you got a different spring plate and then a bigger U-bolt to go over the case, and then the small one on the tube. All right, so here it is, back on 4 tires. These are just rollers. The customer's deciding what kind of tires they want to put on. We are keeping the original rims. And in the next video, I'll go over steering. We're going to do the steering on it. And then since we're running the original rims, since we did the disc brake conversion, we had to put spacers in. Those spacers are on order. For this, I had to just take the calipers off to get it on. So when those spacers come in, I'll just take these tires off, throw the spacers on, and be good to go. So super happy. Now I can roll it out of the shop, wash it, and then give it its last coat of paint. So all right, everybody, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you already haven't. And remember about southernjeepand4x4.com. I try to put new stuff up there every week. So when I release a video, you know, like say the next video is going to be steering, I'm going to try to have all the steering parts put up on the website. Right now all the axle stuff's on there, and some stuff from previous videos. So all right, appreciate it.